गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम टू गना शॉट। गना शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। आई एम स्टार्टिंग लेट बिकॉज आई हैड टू गो फॉर अ talk at the Madras Management Association of how India is rising and what will be its future role in global geopolitics. And I thought I'll repeat this program with a little addition. It's not exactly what I gave yesterday. And that was because, as you all know, yesterday I was at a place where the network wasn't very good. And you couldn't see all the slides, and it wasn't very great. So I thought, let me almost repeat it, but with more, with a little more ideas about the whole affair. Okay, before I start this whole story, why Pahalgam? Why did it happen? I mean, we have not answered that question so far, right? Uh, I mean, why did it happen at all? Have you thought of that? Right? I mean, that's the important thing. And I came up with four plausible reasons. First, Pakistan was getting frustrated of talking with India. Is this a way? Is this the way forward to get India to talk with Kashmir, or rather with Pakistan? All their attempts to say, okay, we'll talk with you have gone for a toss. That's one. But no, Kashmir was going away from them. And the Pak Psych had started accepting the fact that Kashmir is a lost case, and that was evident in most of their opinions and op-eds and all that. So, is this a way to bring Kashmir back into the center stage and connect it with what Asim Munir spoke? Kashmir is our jugular. Okay, possible. This, I think, is one of the most plausible reasons. And then there is this feeling in Pakistan that India is responsible for whatever is happening in Balochistan, and India is responsible for whatever is happening in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and that we are assisting, the Baloch freedom fighters and TTP and everyone in creating problems for Pakistan. So, if that is so, we should create problems for them in Kashmir. And then the fourth reason is there's growing instability within Pakistan, and military is not able to handle issues. Actually, if you see, Pakistan is out of control. So, what next best thing? Externalize. Externalize, focus towards India, old enemy, get the nation behind them. Get the threat posed to them. You see, this is the important thing. They have done what they want. Now, what is the narrative? India will attack us. India has attacked us with IWT, abrogation. India is now going to attack us. This, that. The whole nation will now stand behind the army. It doesn't matter what happens. Already that effect is there. You see it in social media. So, I thought the issue of getting Kashmir back into center stage and externalizing the whole story is very much on the cards. And that's the way I've looked at it. And of course, if you add a fifth, get Pakistan in the global center stage. You know how tough Pakistan is. It will take on India and show to everyone, and it will force China and USA to realize the value of Pakistan, which to some extent it has done already. So I thought these were the major issues why this whole story has happened. There could be more, but we'll see how it goes along as we go along. Okay, let's get to the water. This is the letter by which we have intimated Pakistan of holding the Indus Water Treaty at Abeyance. Now, the issue is, are we going to talk only of the Indus Water Treaty? No. You have to understand this whole game of water as one of what is the state of Pakistan's internal water, shortages at this point of time. What is the impact it's going to have on Pakistan? And then you see this new story of the corporate farming and you know, green Pakistan initiative. And then we'll talk of this. We'll talk of the Indus Water Treaty and how effective it will be for us to close the sluice gates. Okay, so we put the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance, and Pak feels that if we do so, it will be an act of war. Okay, and this is what Shahbaz Sharif today in the morning he said at some place.
Therefore, any attempt to stop, reduce, or divert the flow of water belonging to Pakistan under the Indus Waters Treaty would be responded to with full force and might, and nobody should remain under any kind of stress, remain fully capable and prepared to defend the country's sovereignty and its territorial integrity against any misadventure, as clearly demonstrated by its measured yet resolute response to India's reckless incursion in February 2019. Therefore, I would like to make it clear in all humility, but with fullest confidence at my command, on behalf of the people of Pakistan and our armed forces, that nobody should make any mistake about it. Dear guest, this nation of 240 million people stands united by and behind our brave armed forces and ready to safeguard every inch of our homeland, Pakistan.
Oh, look at that. He is going to stand and safeguard every inch of homeland Pakistan. Right. Who's going into Pakistan? Yeah? Bewakoof Admi. That's the first thing. The second thing is that he said, no one can divert water and all that. Don't make the mistake, all the threats. He has to give it. We've done it. We've done it. And today, water has been released into Jhelum. They're getting a taste of it. ये trailer है भाई, picture तो अभी बाकी है. So what's going to be the effect? We don't know. I mean, there will be an effect. We are probably releasing water beforehand, and then creating pondage which you can fill, so that for the next 10-15 days they don't get water. And when they don't get water for the next 10-15 days down the line in Indus, it might be after 20 days. That's when the sowing time will come or something like that. There must be some calculation. And I'll talk of this later, this whole story of uncertainty and variability. So there is a logic which is happening. So we'll talk of the water crisis. Everyone needs to understand this very seriously. Pakistan is an water-starved state today. It is an existential crisis. I've always said the werewolf which will eat Pakistan is water or lack of water. यानी हिंदी में पानी जो है ना, पाकिस्तान का एक लोमड़ी है जो उसको खा जाएगा। मेरे को डाउट नहीं है कभी, ये मेरे को अभी नहीं डाउट, ये इसके बारे में मैंने 4 साल पहले लिखा था जब मैंने इसका पूरा रिसर्च किया था। तो ये जो वाटर क्राइसिस क्या है इसको हम जरा समझते हैं। लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड this. The Indus water river system, you have Indus, right, at the top, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Bias, and the Satluj. We'll talk of this in detail later. But mote तौर पर, right, you have to understand a few major issues of this water crisis in Pakistan. The first, Indus does not reach the sea. The flow in Indus River is so weak year by year that water does not reach the sea. As a result, the sea water has come up the seabed and there is salinity in that coastal area. A lot of mangroves have been lost and soil erosion has taken place. And mangroves in the coastal area stabilize the coast. They are losing land. Second, the groundwater in Pakistan is depleting. If earlier you had to go 200 feet to get groundwater, today you have to go more than 400 feet or 500 feet to get the same groundwater. And that groundwater is highly contaminated in Pakistan. As a result, it's affecting their crops. It's a major problem for them. Right, like I said, contamination is very high. Major cities like Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad, they are struggling for water. They don't have water. The population in the cities is going up and they don't have water. Fifth point, they have severe water management problems. The water architecture, whether the canals, their sluice gates, their dams, their pipelines, and their water distribution system is all of British time. After that, they have not spent money to upgrade them. So the water management is poor. They have not gone in for groundwater recharge systems. They have not gone in for desilting. Many of their canals and their dams are silted. They have not gone in for repairs. They have not used technology. In fact, there are 2 reports of the World Bank. If you read them, you'll exactly know what the problem is. World Bank has identified everything as to why Pakistan has got this problem: poor water management. Now, this is a picture which I got from Dawn. Water, lack of it. Nalka hai, but someone has. Okay, let's look at it. These are the headlines in Pak dailies. Okay. Authorities have to move to address Cholistan crisis, water crisis. Last month, March 28th. So this is a crisis in Cholistan. Deserted by drought. This is of April 21st, 4 days back. This is an op-ed. Deserts are facing severe drought. And you're looking at only April. And it's actually started in March. There's a deepening crisis of agriculture. This is of this month. I mean, this is only from one paper. If you look at other newspapers, you'll get 1,000 articles. Okay. There's a drought emergency imposed in Rawalpindi. I told you, no water. They have to conserve, go do conserve water. Where will a chap conserve water? There's only drinking water available. For other things, they don't have water. They don't have any method of recycling. Ikka dukka hoga recycling. They don't do groundwater recharging. They don't do recycling. Nothing. Paisa chahiye. You need money for all that. Neither they have technology nor money for it. Some of the things which have come out in their newspapers. The well is dry. That's when you know the worth of water. In Mangla and Tarbela, in the past 1 month, waters are almost touching dead water level. What is dead water level? It is that water level where you can't draw water from the reservoir, even if you open the gates. So whatever water is coming from behind is what is being sent. So the dam is useless. Again, it's only April. The lean season is still ahead. As of today, Sindh is facing 50% water shortage. And Punjab is around 43%. Wheat crops, no water. If the last water of wheat crop is not given, end of story. You will have poor wheat. And remember, Pakistan 3 years back used to export wheat. Today it has to import wheat. And if this crop goes down, they have to import more wheat. Where's the money? And all this is without touching the Indus Water Treaty. Their sugar cane, vegetables, fruit orchards, they're all drying out, no water. Mango. Pakistanis, feel proud that they grow some great mangoes. Cotton sowing is going behind, and cotton is their main crop. Garment export. If cotton doesn't come out, garment export doesn't take place. These are their articles. Those articles I saw, excerpts from that. Okay. So, yeah, now there's this thing, Jack in another word, right? Ajay Chaturvedi said in a Stripe podcast that today they have dug borewells in Punjab and have problems with arsenic pollution from paint factories. I agree with him. That's why I said contamination. Did I say contamination? Okay. Now, this is a thing which I've shown earlier also. This line is the depleting water per capita, and this is the increasing population. So, in the 80s, they became a water-stressed nation. Around 2005, it became a water-scarce nation. Today, they have come into the absolute water scarcity zone. If you get into in any country which gets into the water scarcity zone, it is irreversible. It cannot go back. It cannot go back. And the same thing you see in this picture. You see this film, and they also explain it very nicely.
In the past 75 years, Pakistan's population has increased fivefold, while the water availability per capita is plummeting. By 2025, the region is predicted to reach absolute water scarcity. But Pakistan also suffers from increasingly severe flooding events, each one destroying land and claiming hundreds of lives.
There have been more deaths in Pakistan as flooding
Millions of gallons of water
caused by monsoon rains.
These twin water crises expose what happens when you take a river system and redesign it way past its limits.
So they have taken a river system and redesigned it way past its limits. They not only suffer from drought, they also will suffer from flooding. When the flood season comes, they'll suffer for that also. On that, we shouldn't have doubts. Okay, now let's look at the intricacies of this whole story. Wait. Yeah. Now, if you look at it closely, the two major dams, of Pakistan are Mangla and Tarbela. Mangla is on Jhelum River, Tarbela is on Indus. And they're building one, Daimar Basha. It started about 3 years back. By the time Daimar Basha comes online, it will be another 10 years, 15 years. By then, Tarbela and Mangla will be dead. So their problems are increasing. Though in newspapers you will find that Daimar Basha will solve their problems, it doesn't solve. It doesn't even replace the problems Tarbela and Mangla are having. Like I said earlier, they're silted. They're dead dams, really. They don't hold water. Okay. Right. Like it's here, both are silted and dip to dead water levels in summer. The problem is in summer, it's not in winter. Okay. Not in winter season, not in rainy season, it's in summer. Their problems are all in summer. Pakistan just has 30 days water storage capacity. This was some time back. But my guess is now it is even worse. They might have about 10 days water storage capacity. It's just because that there are some rains in the hills that they are able to get out of it. In comparison, USA has 900 days of water, 3 years. South Africa has 500 days. Even we are in the same belt, same area as Pakistan. Even we have about 120 to 220 days. That's 6 months water, 5 to 6 months of water. That's the difference. We have saved water. We have done a lot. Look, we can do more. That's not the thing. But look, I'm giving you a comparison. This is a very important thing all of you must understand. In Pakistan, the agriculture occupies 25% of its GDP. In India, it is only 15%. It's an agro economy. Okay. In this agro economy, fine. So many are there. You could be an agro economy. There's no problem. But the problem is 70%, 60 to 70% of Pakistan population depends on this. Just 25%. 20 to 25%. So if the population is 240 million, 180 million people depend on agriculture. And if water is denied for agriculture, then you can think what's happening to Pakistan. And that is why I've always maintained that the Indus Water Treaty or its abrogation or its abeyance is a nuclear option, which we have played. Which you have played already. And I said till a few years back, it was a net food exporter. Today, it is a permanent importer of food. And this is irreversible. I said this earlier. I'm now putting it formally. You look at the water cycle or the water requirements in Pakistan. Wheat takes 23% of the water. Rice takes 21%. Cotton, 14%. Sugarcane, 19%. Other crops, only 23%. So 75% of water requirement is only for these crops. Basically, it's agriculture, complete agriculture is reliant on water intensive crops. Not only they have not modernized their, their delivery system, but their consumption system and their cropping patterns also, they have not done anything. In fact, they have not done any farm laws. No, they have not. They're still living in a feudal society. Abba Jan ke jamane ke, things are going on. And then they say, no, hum to nuclear hai bhai. Nuclear ganta. Then they face severe water threats. What are these? Glacial lake outbursts and the flooding thereof. It happened in Sikkim with us. The dam in Teesta got washed off. The hydroelectric thing just got washed off. Finish. And Pakistan has got about 300-400 glaciers sitting up there, and they're all at this thing. If that happens, it's a nuclear plus option. And if anything happens to their major dams in Pakistan, they can't recover out of it. They don't have the money to recover. The next thing is variable flow of water in Indus. Not only Indus, in their entire river system. This is a danger for them. Variable water. Why is variable water, dangerous? And I'll explain to you. And I'll explain to you with mustard crop. Okay. Anyone who knows mustard cropping will tell you mustard needs 5 times you have to give it water. Only 5 times. And that is why mustard is grown in winter season in desert areas where there's not much water, but it doesn't need much water. You give it water, you water it 5 times in a season, you get mustard crop. Simple. But for those 5 times, you should be very clear that you will get that water. If you miss one, the crop goes down. I mean, you'll get a crop, you'll get a very weak crop, because then you'll get only out of the moisture, winter moisture. Okay. Now, if you vary the level of water, and suppose I am a farmer, I have watered 4 times. The 5th time I can't water, I'll get a substandard crop. Finished. Or I've planted seeds and I can't water. Seeds have to germinate, no? Then what happens? My whole cropping is gone. That means uncertainty and variability. So I don't get enough water, or I'm not sure of getting water. I'm sunk. As a farmer, I'm sunk. That is why I put it in red. Then the salinity of soil in Punjab and Sindh has increased. Soil fertility has gone down. At this point of time, nearly 7 million hectares of Pakistan's 22 million, that is 1/3, are affected by salinity already. And this is going to worsen with global warming. And if they don't have enough water, the only way you take salinity out is by watering it. More water. You flush the salinity out. Of course, you treat it with other chemicals so that the salt in that is sucked out, or rather chemically eased out. And then you wash. How do you wash? Either it rains wash it, or you extra water. You don't have both. You don't have to live with it. And they're losing 1 lakh acres per year. Coastal belts. And in these circumstances, this army has started this Green Pakistan initiative. Their crisis won't solve. Why? There's population which is growing out of check. The official figure is 240, it could be 270. They're increasingly urbanizing, and the cities are not able to give them water. So where do people go? People, if they go, they don't go anywhere. They can't go anywhere. So health goes down. Health goes down. Your total output of the nation goes down. Health goes down. You have to spend money to treat that fellow. So all those problems are there. Then, of course, this problem of glacial melt, climate change, inefficient use of water, and they don't have storage infrastructure, and then they can't build it. They don't have. You can take it from me. So what's going to be the result of all this water insecurity? Look, so far I have not spoken of Indus Water Treaty. This is just their basic problem. They're going to have food insecurity, which is now permanent. Agriculture will decline. The moment agriculture declines, people will lose their jobs or they won't have jobs. So unemployment will increase. If unemployment increases, radicalism, all that will increase. They're going to have drinking water shortages. They're going to have health problems. Cholera, diarrhea, hepatitis, all this. They have to spend money on medicines, which they don't have. And what will all this happen? They're going to have economic and social instability. This is for certain. Oh, लोमड़ी ने खाना है सब कुछ. Pakistan को खाना है. That werewolf will eat Pakistan. Make no mistakes. It is in this circumstances this Green Pakistan initiative is put. What is this Green Pakistan initiative? Listen to what their plan is, then you will understand.
ज़राअत पाकिस्तान की मईशत में रीढ़ की हड्डी की हैसियत रखती है। पाकिस्तान दुनिया भर में अपनी जरखेज जमीन और वसी नहरी निजाम के हवाले से जाना जाता है। वतन अजीज खुराक की पैदावार और फसलों के हवाले से दुनिया के सबसे बड़े प्रोड्यूसर और सप्लायर्स में से एक है। पाकिस्तान चने, खुबानी, खजूर, गन्ना, प्याज, कीनू, आम, चावल, कपास और गंदम की पैदावार में टॉप 10 मुमालिक की लिस्ट में मौजूद है। सिर्फ यही नहीं, पाकिस्तान दूध प्रोड्यूस करने वाले मुमालिक की फहरिस्त में भी टॉप 10 में मौजूद है। सबसे अहम बात यह है कि अपनी आला क्वालिटी के सबब पाकिस्तान की तमाम प्रोडक्ट्स की दुनिया में बहुत डिमांड है। पाकिस्तान के आम और कीनू अपनी लज्जत के सबब दुनिया में मुनफरिद मुकाम रखते हैं और पाकिस्तानी चावल के तो क्या ही कहने हैं। क्या आप जानते हैं, हाल ही में ऑस्ट्रेलिया और न्यूजीलैंड ने बासमती चावल को पाकिस्तानी प्रोडक्ट के तौर पर तस्लीम कर लिया है। वॉशिंगटन पोस्ट की एक रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक दुनिया में बासमती चावल की डिमांड दुगनी होने वाली है। ऐसे में भारत के खिलाफ पाकिस्तान की ये एक बड़ी कामयाबी है। ये सब ग्रीन पाकिस्तान इनिशिएटिव के सबब मुमकिन हो सका है। ज़राअत के शोबे में इस्लाहात लाने और कुदरती वसाइल का बेहतर
देखिए, Green Pakistan initiative. If you see this movie, you get the feeling that Pakistan is a land of milk and honey, and all sponsored by friend असीम मुनीर। क्या कहने हैं पाकिस्तान के आम के बारे में? पाकिस्तान का आम इतने अच्छे हैं, उसने जिया उल हक को उड़ा दिया, याद है? So that is पाकिस्तान का आम। Right. Let's see what the rest of the things is.
इस्तेमाल करने में ग्रीन पाकिस्तान इनिशिएटिव अहम किरदार अदा कर रहा है। इस बारे में मजीद तफसीलात भी शेयर करते हैं, लेकिन इससे पहले अगर आपने हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और
Okay. And this Green Pakistan initiative is under the SIFC, Special Investment. What's that story of Facilitation Council of, and it has been set up by the army, manned by the army. And they're digging 6 new canals. What have they done? A whole lot of land they have given away on corporate farming model. There's some problem. They're saying that, look, we're going to scrap it and all, my left foot. You think army will let it go? They'll say no and start again. So what's happening in this whole story? Look at this.
चौलिस्तान की तपती रेत में नहर निकाल दी गई। लाखों एकड़ अराजी को काबिले काश्त बनाने का मंसूबा।
ना सड़क थी, ना पानी का इंतजाम था। चंद महीनों के अंदर पाकिस्तान की ज़राअत की डायरेक्शन स्मार्ट एग्री फार्म ने सेट कर दी। लाखों एकड़ अराजी आबाद हो रही है।
चिनासिन तो सहराए चौलिस्तान को सैराब करने के लिए यहाँ पर नहरी निजाम बनाया जा रहा है और ये देख सकते हैं।
See, they're making canals. The work has started already. That's the point. That's why I got hold of this thing and to show you.
चौलिस्तान की तपती रेत।
Okay. Now let's see this. What does this lady say?
चोलिस्तान में खुशसाली के बादल मंडलाने लगे। हैर कासिम वाला से चोलिस्तान को पानी फराहम करने वाली नहरें 4 माह से बंद होने से इंसानों और मवेशियों के लिए पीने का पानी भी खत्म हो गया है। लियाकतपुर से ताज गौस की रिपोर्ट।
मामूल से कम बारिशें, नहरों की तवील बंदिश, चौलिस्तान में खुश्कसाली, गर्मी की बढ़ती शिद्दत ने खतरे की घंटी बजा दी। मकीन परेशान।
एक तो रोही में बारिशें नहीं हुई जिसकी वजह से कहत साली पड़ गई है। हमारे तमाम जानवर जो हैं वो वापस मूव हो गए चोलिस्तान की तरफ। यहाँ ना चारा है ना पानी है।
जेरे जमीन पानी की हालत ये है कि पानी बदल चुका है, कड़वा हो चुका है। बच्चों को टाइफाइड की बीमारी हो रही है, दीगर बीमारियां हो रही हैं।
चौलिस्तान में 3 लाख से ज्यादा जानवर मौजूद हैं जो पानी न होने की वजह से प्यास से मर रहे हैं। अहले इलाका ने पंजाब हुकूमत से हंगामी बुनियादों पर चौलिस्तान को पानी फराहम करने का मुतालबा किया है। ताज गौस, समा, लियाकतपुर। मामूल से कम बारिशें, नहरों की तवील बंदिश, चौलिस्तान में खुश्कसाली, गर्मी की बढ़ती शिद्दत ने खतरे की घंटी बजा दी। मकीन परेशान।
एक तो रोही में बारिशें नहीं हुई जिसकी वजह से कहत
So It's not only people. There's no water. Of course, there's no barish and all. He's saying this poor chap. Even livestock is at risk there. What happens if the livestock starts dying? It will, right? So there is a severe problem. Why? Those canals have been built and water has got diverted there. That's what that lady said, that presenter. Okay.
Chole
Now you have a look at what else is happening. You see the loot which this Pakistan army, Asim Munir and this fellows are saying. यार पाकिस्तान का जगलर कश्मीर नहीं है, पाकिस्तान का जगलर तो उनका लुटेरे हैं. आर्मी, see what this fellow says.
ड्राउट डिक्लेयर्ड है पाकिस्तान ऑफिशियली, और इरसा ने कहा है कि 35% की शॉर्टेज, तो उन्होंने 10 दिन पहले कही थी. अब तो मैंने एक इंजीनियर से पूछा, उसने कहा जी अब तो 50 से 70% शॉर्टेज को हम डर रहे हैं. तो दोनों डैम आपके खाली हैं. मैं पूछता हूँ आज चोलिस्तान रिजर्वायर आप
So he says दोनों डैम खाली हैं. देखिए दोनों डैम खाली हैं. It is not Sindh only, even in Punjab there is no water as per this. And this, mind you, this video is about 10 days old.
चोलिस्तान बना होता कैनाल, उसको आप पानी कहाँ से देते? रिजर्वायर तो खाली. इस तरह के बरसों के लिए हमें परेशानी है. फिर क्या होगा? अब आप झेलम का पानी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल झेलम में पानी आ गया, मंगला में पानी आ गया, बारिशें हुई, थोड़ा सा पानी आ गया, आप निकाल के ले जाएंगे चोलिस्तान, वो फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी बन जाएगा क्योंकि आपका इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट है.
तो संभाल भी वही लोग रहे हैं.
फिर संभाल भी वही लोग रहे हैं जो हर चीज संभालते हैं, तो आप उनको मना थोड़ी करेंगे.
So see, this is one view. Okay, look at this. You know, on the right, this chap is a non-resident Pakistan. See what he says. Oh. One minute, sorry. Oh, it's not coming.
Drought declared in Pakistan.
The government of Pakistan wants to take 6 canals, 6 canal, from the Indus River and the Satluj. There's no water in the Satluj. Where are you getting this water from? The Indus, they're trying to pump the water from Tonsa Barrage and throw it in Cholistan. There is not enough water past Sakhar Barrage to feed these 4 million acres of land that they're trying to irrigate in the middle of the desert, that they're calling cooperative farmings. Now, when you say cooperative to someone like me who's had a bit of a hippy-dippy education, cooperative to me means farmers come together and decide how they cooperate and do their land. No, that's not what they mean. They are leasing land to big wealthy individuals. I met someone the other day who said, I've leased 5,000 acres from the army for my cooperative farm. He's a big businessman. He's not a gharib that he needs 5,000. 5,000 acres. That's phase 8. Is 5,000. Phase 8 is 4,000 acres. That amount of land going to one person is insane. And this is what is happening in our country. And this will dry our river. This will kill our dolphins. And this will kill the people of Sindh. This will bring the people of Sindh to starvation point. And if this plan continues, there are only dark days ahead.
So there are only dark days ahead. And overall, what are you looking at? 4 million acres of land going in this way. Okay. Right. Now let's get to Jhelum and the Indus Water Treaty and understand this. What's the story? Like I said, the northern rivers or the western rivers as they call are for Pakistan. This is part of the treaty, and the treaty is from then to now. Now it's no more. And the southern are ours. We have used our water reasonably well, and we have maintained, we've done very well, in fact, compared to Pakistan. Now the issue is, what if this, northern rivers are not given to, or water from northern rivers are not given to Pakistan? What is the effect on Pakistan of this IWT held in abeyance? That's the thing which we have to see. Let me put it at the outset. The amount of water which flows in Sindh, Indus, Chenab or Jhelum, or for that matter Ravi and Satluj, during monsoon seasons is too much, uncontrollable. You can't stop water. It will go. Too much water, especially Chenab. Especially Chenab at Aknur. If you've been to Chenab at Aknur, it's a raging torrent. Already 3 bridges there throughout in our history have been washed away. Okay? So, you can't during winter. But it's not the winter, not the rainy season which is a problem. The problem is the dry season. It's in the dry season that the water levels drop. What are the dry seasons? First dry season is winter. In winter, the snow-capped mountains, freeze. The water, by then the rain stop and the water levels dip. And that season is the winter crops. What are the winter crops? Basically wheat. Of course, some sugarcane is always there, and mustard and things like that. Okay. So in this, if you get variability, I told you, there's a problem. Summer crops are rice, basically. Rice, cotton, kapas. If you go to Rajasthan, there's a lot of kapas. And it's largely grown in the desert regions. You need water. You need a lot of water. And these are grown only in summer. So in summer, again, the water levels are low, flow is low. And if that is controlled, thank you. That's the danger for Pakistan. So when people say, no, you can't, there's no problem in, Indus water treaty, you can't stop water, there'll be no effect on Pakistan. They're all living in La La land. Okay. You add whatever I have said earlier, the current situation in Pakistan, and then you control this water and you bring variability and uncertainty into the whole story, then there's a problem. There's a major problem. ये तो nuclear option हो ही गया. This is an editorial of Dawn. It says what India's Indus Water Treaty suspension means for Pakistan. What does it mean? Let's see. And these are the excerpts. He says a more pressing concern is what happens in the dry season. That's why I said the dry season. When the flows across the basin are lower, storage matters more. There's no storage. It matters more, but they don't have storage. Right? And timing becomes critical. I told you timing. The time when the farmer needs the water has to be there. And his time is dependent on when he is sowing, with the first watering or second watering or third watering in the winter seasons or in the summer seasons, depending. So, this is where the absence of treaty constraints could start to be felt more accurately. They themselves saying. So, don't believe anyone who says that no, Indus water, no, by the time there are a lot of Pakistanis and there are a lot of Indians also who are saying, oh, by the time we put the infrastructure, it will be in the next 10 years, and by 10 years, there'll be no issue. It's going to affect now. And I'll explain to you how. Okay. He also says, while the physical and political limits on disruptions by India are real, the erosion of the treaty protection still matters. The treaty gives some protections. That goes, Pakistan is in a problem. This is not because the water will stop tomorrow, but because the system it supports was never built for uncertainty. I told you earlier, variability and uncertainty. These are the killers. You might still release water. See, a chap who's about to die by thirst, you tell him, I'll give you water day after tomorrow. He might die before that. Or you tell him, I'll give you water for 3 days. Today you drink because next 2 days you will not get water. Again he'll die. Variability and uncertainty are important in water management. The flows of Indus, Jhelum and Chenab are the backbone of our agriculture and our cities, our energy systems. At this moment, we simply do not have a substitute for these waters. So far, we have spoken about So far, we have spoken about agriculture. What about coal, thermal systems? You see, in CPEC, all their projects are coal-based projects. What is coal-based projects? Thermal energy systems. You burn coal, you use water, you vaporize water, that what steam runs turbines, and you get electricity. If there's no water, what will you do? And thermal plants require a lot of water. You see, anywhere in India or anywhere in the world, a thermal plant is next to a river. They also put thermal plants next to the river. Only thing is they don't have water now. And he's very clear. He says at this moment we do not have any substitute for these waters. Yet more issues are there, which I don't know if you people have seen in other, channels. The treaty requires India to share hydrological data with Pakistan. Why is it necessary? For flood forecasting, planning for irrigation, hydropower, and drinking water. If there is excess rain in Himalayas, and say for example in Satluj, if Bakra and Nangal dam, those reservoirs are getting full, or they're going to flow above a particular level or below a particular level, that data we share with Pakistan. Because if the levels go up there, it will take another 3 days, it will come down. So then Pakistan can take action on it. We are supposed to share this data with them. If you hold this in abeyance, which we have held already, you don't have to share. So Pakistan doesn't know whether water is going to come or not. Okay. Next point, very, very important. I don't know if someone has told you this also. Himalayan rivers carry a lot of silt. Okay. Now, silting, desilting is a common process. What is desilting? You flush water and the silt goes downstream. Now, if I carry out flushing without telling the guy, downstream, all the silt will go and sit in his dam. So Pakistan can keep doing desilting and you can keep dumping silt on them. That's the weaponization. Have you thought of it? You read, you'll get it. So damage will go downstream to Pakistan. And then, of course, I've said it enough. Variability and uncertainty are weapons, which I'm sure already we have started weaponizing. So there's a comment I got. It says 73% of irrigated area in Indus Valley in Pakistan is irrigated not by surface water, but by groundwater. Therefore, the impact of Abeyance of Indus Valley Treaty on Pakistan will not be immediate and will take a couple of years, since the stock water of groundwater in Indus Valley is quite impressive. This is the kind of narrative and falsehood which is being spread. Yeah, like someone said, what General Chaturvedi said, that 80% contamination and it contains arsenic. I'm also saying the same thing. I also said groundwater depletion and contamination. Those slides I showed earlier. Every year, the water level is going down in Pakistan. But Pakistanis are now coming out with this story. And only 25% of GDP of Pakistan is from agriculture. So there is no problem. वो बेवकूफ हो, तुम्हारा जीडीपी इतना खराब है, तुम्हारा भविष्य इतना खराब है कि you need 25% from agriculture. Developed countries don't have more than 15. Developed countries don't have more than 10% in agriculture. We are not fully developed. That's why we have about 15%. So you are underdeveloped economy, you have 25%. And on this 25% of the economy, 180 million people are surviving. All these are not said. All this is part of trolling which is coming and fake news which is being spread. Then they are very conscious of the legal aspects of the Indus Water Treaty. Now, the thing is this: there is the Convention of Vienna, or Law of Treaties, Vienna Convention, whatever it is. Yeah, it's the law of treaties as per Vienna Convention. It tells you when you can abrogate a treaty or not abrogate a treaty, when you can hold it in abeyance or not, whatever. The point is, who's bothered? None of the. You think China has stood by these treaties? The International Court, of Justice in Hague said that China cannot occupy those lands in South China Sea, but yet it went and occupied. The ruling was against China; they did it. So Pakistan will go to International Court of Justice. Let them give a ruling. So what if you do what you want to do? To hell with them. You think you can fight lawfare against India? You can, just because Shahbaz Sharif gives a threat and he's spoken in English there so that everyone understands. You think anyone's bothered? No one's bothered. Now, let me spend a little time on making you understand which are the rivers which can be blocked or not. Okay. Now, this is the river system. This is Indus. Indus comes from China or Tibet. Comes from Tibet, swings down and gets in here. Jhelum starts within the Kashmir Valley, Srinagar Valley, and comes here. This is Chenab. It starts in Himachal Pradesh and then gets in. And near past Aknur, it gets into Pakistan. Ravi and this. Satluj also is a trans border. Flows in from Tibet and comes in. Now the point is, in these three rivers, northern rivers, Indus can't be dammed, and damming Indus won't help us because Indus gathers more water in the Devsai plains near Nanga Parbat, and more water comes in from their glaciers into main Indus. So Indus is, and it flows in Leh. You can't tap too much water there. You can't dam there because if you dam, there are other issues for us. So really, Indus water treaty on Indus has got no value. This is my way of looking at it. Having served in that area, in fact, for 1.5 years, I stayed next to Indus. My house was just on Indus. Every day in the morning, I used to look up outside and I saw Indus in a place called Karu. Okay, and that's how I studied all this. So Indus damming, and you can't ensure Indus water doesn't go to Pakistan. And like I said, Indus gathers more water on the other side. Okay. Second is Jhelum. Now Jhelum starts within the Srinagar Valley and soon enters past Uri. It goes into Muzaffarabad and all. Yeah, you can do a few up and down with Jhelum, but you can't stop Jhelum. Understand, if you stop Jhelum, the Kashmir Valley gets flooded. Few years back, there was flooding in Kashmir Valley. Kashmir Valley is a valley where there's too much water. There's no drainage out. Only drainage out is Jhelum. Jhelum is the main drainage. So you can't dam it. I mean, there are a few barajas here and there, right? But that's it. But what you can do is build small dams away from the main thing, hold water, and you can release water when not required. That can be done. I think that's the message which has gone by Muzaffarabad se pani jo de diya. So that's the thing. Okay, now the weaponized with the thing which you can really weaponize is Chenab. ये है Chenab. चंद्रभागा, इसको बोलते हैं चंद्रभागा, हिमाचल प्रदेश में. Okay. Now let me explain that also. See, this is Chenab. Generally, this is a Chenab flow. In Chenab, we have Salal, Baglihar, Ratle, Pakaldul, Dulhasti, Kiru. All these places, we have small dams. Some are being built, some are not built, some are in planning, and some are built already. Now, all these and more, there are more. I'm not purposefully telling everything. Are run of the water dams. What is run of the water dam? A run of the water dam is a dam in which you use the water, you use certain amount of storage for making electricity. Otherwise, the water keeps flowing. You don't use that water for agriculture and all that. There's a run of water. The water keeps running and you keep taking electricity, which is allowed as per the Indus Water Treaty. Now, the fact is you have a dam. I'm sure they have some holding capacity, even if it's run of the water. So you hold that. So you actually have all these holding capacities already. Because certain amount of capacity in any dam has to be there for flood control. You want to control floods, you need to, you put a dam, you have to control floods. For flood control, you need capacity. So those capacities are latent, and if those capacities are increased, I'll not tell you how they're increased, they would be increased. Then the abeyance of Indus Water Treaty will be very problematic for Pakistan. And if water in Chenab is controlled, Mangla Dam, which I showed earlier, we'll go back to that. Yeah. This is Mangla Dam. Wait a minute. Mangla Dam is this. Okay? Won't get water. And that's 50% of Pakistan's water. So you can twist Pakistan's tail the way I look at it from tomorrow. It's not a problem. And they know it. And it's going to be twisted. I have no doubt about it. Okay, let's go back to our story. Right? So there's the legal aspect, Chenab. So it's Pakistan's lifeline. This whole story, water. Additionally, we have been drawing less water from the eastern rivers. If you draw as much water you want from the eastern rivers, Pakistan will go dry. Because eastern rivers is all your water. You have to use it sensibly. And for that, you need to develop the Ravi-Bias link and operationalize the Satluj-Yamuna canal, which I showed yesterday also. See, this is of course the Indira Gandhi canal, where you take water from Hosaniwala and Harike and water right up to Barmer. It's one of the best projects which you've done. This is the new one with this red line. Dekho, dobara dekho. Yeah. Right? And then you have to link here, the small link which I'm showing between Ravi and Bias. We have to put it. And then you have to link Satluj with Yamuna. And then transfer water from here to here. And that's a huge thing which we have not been able to do. This is the smaller, detailed picture. Ravi Bias link and Satluj Yamuna link. The Satluj Yamuna link in Haryana is made fully. It's dry. It's in Punjab, there's a problem. That's a political issue which we have to solve. Right? Okay. So this is what I had to tell you. So you see, Pakistan is in a severe water crisis already. Now the army with its Green Pakistan initiative wants to loot money. They have sold 4 million acres of desert land to corporate farming. What is this corporate farming? These are corporates which are sitting in Dubai. And the way I look at it, the deal is They'll get some land, they'll get assurance of water. For that assurance of water, almost 50-60% money will go back to all this Pakistani army guys. Okay, so this is the story. They're looting them. Indus Water Treaty is critical for Pakistan Army's pockets. And of course, as I told you, contrary to popular imagination, you can tweak Indus Water Treaty. There are many things which are there you can do against Pakistan. So I'm sorry that yesterday I could not show all this because I was sitting at a place where there was not much good connectivity, and that's why all the slides and all were not shown, or you couldn't see. I felt bad. That's why I pulled that video out. I've now shown you the complete video. I've explained to you in detail all stories or the facts. I'm sure General Chaturvedi has also explained to you in detail. And he's actually more knowledgeable than me on this. He's an engineer officer. But having said that, I've done what I have to do. I've explained to you. I'll take some questions. I understand that IWT is going to be scrapped by India. Right? But what is the immediate price we get them to pay? People are very angry. Well, there are a lot of things. Leave it to the army, leave it to the government to decide. It gives you a great leverage which you have never used so far. The effect will be there after 3-4 months. But they know. That is why they already, that chief minister shouting, Bilawal Bhutto is shouting somewhere, कि भैया, if you don't give water, we'll go for war. War क्या करेंगे वो? Pakistan is good at canal building, but we aren't. Can't we build canals from these rivers to Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat and use it? Manoj Singh, Pakistan is not good at building canals. Pakistan army is good at building canals using their money for their gains. What about the existing canal system? You must see the World Bank reports. Don't get away with this Bevkufi idea that they are good at building canals and we aren't. We have much better. We've built the best greening initiative of, almost 3,000 kilometers of Rajasthan Nehar or Indira Gandhi Nehar. Yeah, what you said, we can build rivers from these rivers. See, from Chenab you can build water, but Jhelum and you can't build any this thing. That's in mountains. From Chenab you can draw some water. That's also difficult. Okay. Yeah, till Jammu you can get the water. There is already a Ranbir Singh canal, which one of the erstwhile rulers of Jammu had built. You can build on that. Somewhere near Aknur you can draw water, but that's a very minuscule thing. Chenab is an uncontrolled river. If you've been there and seen it, that's a reality. It is not drawing water from this which is a problem. It is for Pakistan. It is controlling water during lean season. That you have enough. Hello Anjali, thanks a lot joining from Connecticut. What option Pakistan has against that decision? Very little. ICJ will cost them dearly. I agree with you. We will not respond only. How does it matter? Okay. So, and they don't have money. They're bankrupt. How will a bankrupt chap go to court? What are your views on India going super offensive from every aspect? Diaspora protests in Western nations, passing an order not to share any army movement. Yeah, this is fantastic. I think there's a resolution or resolute feeling within the government that we have to sort out Pakistan. This time they'll get sorted out. And it's not only me, you, I think across the board, all over the world, Indians are now fed up of Pakistan. And even the world is fed up of Pakistan, so they'll keep quiet. No one's going to side Pakistan. Thanks a lot for this super sticker. Yeah, On groundwater, with constant depletion, they're spending more on fuel for pumping the same amount of water. Pakistan is one of the largest consumers of groundwater, 9% globally. Thanks for the information. In 1971, we had occupied 13,000 kilometers of park for one full year. This we can claim and take immediately. We don't have to get involved in all that at this point of time. Just keep twisting their tail slowly and do an odd military strike. That will come later. I'm sure it will come. So be patient. Let's not get ahead of the thing. Why does India play by treaty rules? It's gone, no? That's okay. We are a responsible nation. We do it. Now they're not doing it. We'll also not do it. Yeah, agriculture is 13 to 14. I said 15 as a round figure. That's it. Yeah, I'm surprised that even without big dams and canals, India has first halved the water in Pakistan. In Chenab and today Satluj. Yeah, there's no doubt. You can. I told you, no, there's leeway in those dams which are there. Every dam has some capacity for flood control. You do that. Yeah. Looks like Pakistan has no use of hydrological data since they haven't done anything to use that data. They shot themselves in their foot. Yeah, I agree with you, SK, completely. Water level in Indian Punjab was also, but I hope water will flow to Punjab through linking. Yeah, hopefully we should improve our situation. Yeah, I heard your podcast. You had predicted water. Yeah, long back. I did this 3 years back. Even last year I did this. General Major Gaurav Arya and General GD Pakshi is talking on another level. Absolutely. Yeah. वो उनका महारथी है यार. I have nothing to do with their thinking. It's up to them. Seems like all pessimists, anti-India narratives are in a conundrum. If they condemn India, they have to recognize your capability. Yeah, I agree with you. In the next 10 to 15 years, we are able to stop most of the water. Are those people going to forcefully migrate? No. We can't stop the water. That is out of question. Let's be very honest and clear. You can't stop all the water going from. And it's not good also. You don't know what to do. The dual flood. Yeah, Dungabai Will India stay strong against Pakistan this time and ensure it learns a lasting lesson? It will. Right? We also hope that India will confront and defeat rising radicals in Bangladesh as well. We'll talk of it tomorrow. I have to talk of Bangladesh tomorrow, which I'll do. What will be the effect on Bangladesh of this whole story? We'll talk of it tomorrow. Precision strike against LTE, JSM. Yeah, it's possible. All this will come up. I'm in no hurry. I will hit my enemy at a time and place of my choosing when I want. Yeah, you will soon see that Pakistan fake parliament endorses 7-year term of the army chief. All this will happen. How am I bothered what happens to him? Let him. Poor water management is problem on either side of the divide. Do they have any areas from where water can be? No, they don't have. It's a single river system. That's the problem. Yeah, thanks a lot, Jayant. How are you? How would India go about making these geopolitical players behind Pakistan pay the cost of supporting terrorism? You twist Pakistan's tail, the rest all will get it automatically. Sanjay ji from Jaipur Dialogue said that we can increase water storage in western rivers from 0.5 to 1 MFT in a week, thus taking Pakistan water deficiency from 43 to 50%. I'm not sure of the figures, but like I told you, every dam has a capacity. You take all dam to its full capacity, water won't go down. As simple as that. But then that's a dangerous trick because you need that capacity to deal with floods if you have. If you do it too much, you will be harming yourself. So many of the people who do these analysis, I'm sure Sanjay Dixit would have done his own homework, have to realize that many of the tricks which they're trying to tell you are two-sided also. We shouldn't get too smart. Okay, that's something which we have to understand. Thanks a lot, Sham Tarun, for your super sticker. So honored. Right. Is there anything else which has to be factored in? Any other questions? China building super dam outside Arunachal. India should do this. No, we don't have to. It's not feasible. It's not worth it. Last question. If the war goes longer and bloodier, how do we make ourselves stronger at the individual and societal level? And what are the training programs? Don't worry, Akash. Even all that will not happen. Okay. We'll talk of the military options and all down the line. This coming week, I'll get someone to talk of the military options we have. Okay, fine. So this is what I thought I'll tell you. Please remember, making canals, making dams and all long-term affairs, you need money, you need investment, you need Reiki, you need a lot of things. So these are things which will not be made in a hurry. But abrogation of IWT is not a immediate action. It will not give you complete immediate results the way you think it will, but it will give you results. It will give you psychological results and it will give you physical results also. And as days go by, the results will multiply. The force multiplication of abrogation of IWT is huge. So that's where the whole story is. Fine. All right. Thanks a lot. I'm glad that all of you have come. I'm also, again, my apologies for yesterday's snafu. Now I've been able to show you everything. It's a good video. Show it to everyone. Give it to your friends. And I would request all of you to subscribe to Ghana Shot and join us as members. Right. Thank you. Good evening and Jai Hind.